Greeting, friends. I trust you're well. I'm just wondering if you've heard of the phrase that you can reverse type 2 diabetes or obesity associated conditions with intermittent fasting. And you've been wondering what is intermittent fasting. You've probably gone onto maybe YouTube and or basically internet and Googled intermittent fasting, and you found these scientists who talk about a lot of stuff. Yeah. Uh, of course, with the bottom line, that's a good thing. So I would want to put it in layman's language. What is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is when you decide not to eat at certain times and to eat other times. In other words, during the 24 hours, you can decide you're going to eat for only 8 hours, and then for 16 hours, you don't eat anything. You can drink water, you can drink black tea, you can drink black coffee. That is, within that period of 16 hours when you are fasting, that is what then causes the intermittent fasting, because it means that you fast for 16 hours and you don't eat anything, you only drink liquids, and in 8 hours you can have your meals, and so on and so forth. You can, of course, extend to 18 hours, you can extend to 20 hours. It's really how you feel like. But how it works is when you eat, um, uh, the body, you ingest, shall we say, you've eaten food. Now, that food needs to be broken down into energy to power the body processes, the pumping of the heart, the thinking of the brain, the renewal of cells, you name it. And this is made possible by insulin, which breaks down whatever you've eaten into energy. Now, in cases where then the energy is not all used, that is, if you don't finish the energy that you took in the previous meal by the time you take the second one, it means some of it has to be stored. And the storage, therefore, is in two types. Either the food is turned into sugar and then it is stored in the blood, which means you've got too much sugar in your blood and therefore diabetic, or it is stored in cells in form of fat, which means you're beginning to become obese, and therefore you come down with obesity associated ailments like hypertension and such other things. So the idea of intermittent fasting when you're starting is, at that point, you're probably, if you're diabetic and you're hypertensive, what you'll be doing is during the times that you have not eaten, that is the 16 hours, the body goes into the stores. The body goes into fat or into the sugar in the blood and turns it into energy. That is what powers the running of the body at that point. And therefore, as time goes by, the stores become less and less and less. And over time, you'll find that you no longer have any of these stored fats or stored sugars, because every time you take, by the time you eat the next meal, they have already been used to power the body. And that way you have reversed diabetes. So very simple. You are fat because you've been storing too much, you've been eating too much, you've been eating too often. So you have a lot of fat stored in your cells and in your body. It's lining the fat, the heart, basically body organs. You find that you've got what is called fatty liver and other, but I don't want to go technical. So this is the thing. You've got too much fat in your body because you've been eating too often. You have too much sugar in your blood because you've been eating too often. Therefore, you're hypertensive, you're overweight, and you're diabetic. When you fast, that is when you don't ingest any food, when you don't bring any calories, are they called calories or calories? You don't bring in any calories. Then the body goes into the store and starts turning fats and sugar into energy. And so over time, it burns the whole store. And therefore, you become fit. Hypertension is no longer a problem. Blood sugar is no longer a problem. And then now you maintain that. And by which time, by the way, you have lost a lot of weight. Because the fat was the weight. So since it's been taken out, you've lost a lot of weight and you're very fit. Of course, you have to put together some regular exercise walking. There are small exercises that you can do. You're not going to become Superman. You're not expected to become Superman. But you do exercises that keep your body fit. And that way, you live a long, healthy life.